You can start your point.
Okay. So have you started?
Your recording has started.
Okay. So uh, previously I asked you that have you ever listened to any audiobooks?
No, not really.
Okay. So yes. So previously I listened to one audiobook back in 2021. That was Artemis. It was a fiction book by Andy Weir, the author of The Martian. And last month, not last month, on March of this year, I just for the first time I bought a subscription for Audible. So it's just $1.99 per month. So, anyways, I bought this one, and then I listened to the first or I think there is a second audio book, which was actually it was named The Man Who Solved the Market. So it was about
What is the name? The man who solved the market.
yes, market, the stock
Solved.
market, I would say. Solved, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's basically about the origins of quantitative finance. How the name I knew about him earlier. The man's name was Jim Simons. So I knew about him that he was a mathematician, and then he started this using mathematical models to model the financial markets and so on. But from this book, I learned a lot about him, about his life and how he started the company, how he started his funds and everything.
What is
And
this company?
it's called Renaissance Technologies.
Okay.
Okay, so mainly, okay, I'll just talk a little bit about this book before I talk about the book that I'm reading right now. So what I learned from this was that uh, in quantitative finance, or the way of trading, the thing that we investing using those kind of models is the broad term is called algorithmic trading. Okay, so there you actually write down the codes for how and to buy a asset or security or and when to sell it, instead of just doing it on your own instead of it being done by a human. There's an algorithm that does it. Okay, so and in his company, very few people are there who are actually from a finance or a business background. So they are filled with almost everyone is either a mathematician or a computer scientist. So means either one of those background, or maybe some other fields from the STEM. Maybe they are other engineers or physicists or those kind of things. Hardly from anyone from finance. So that was the thing. And even now, so right now, I would say that right now means at the time, and there wasn't any course such as for quantitative finance. So that time that was just the time when this thing was being built up. And right now there are a lot of courses which have been exclusively on quantitative finance, and the subjects are tailored to that. And I would say that in that book it was mentioned that Jim Simons, he was actually a professor, and in I think no, he studied in MIT, but after that he was recruited by a university called Stony Brook University. So he built he helped means develop that university a lot. And right now they have a quantitative finance program, and that is one of the world's best programs in quantitative finance right now. And if you see in their web page, it is not it is in the Department of Engineering and Applied Sciences. Okay, I'll show you if I where is my screen sharing. Can you see this one?
Yeah.
This is the quantitative. This is the course. So there is an actual this course. These are the subjects of this course. So you can see that this is in the College of Engineering and Applied Sciences.
Yeah.
You can see. So most, and if you just look at the subject, I would say there are finance subjects, but only the things that are required for algorithmic trading. The first two subjects are probability and statistics. You can see.
Yeah.
And after that, I would say there are only 4 subjects that are, I would say, that are purely finance or that has partly to do with finance. Others are mostly combination of mathematics and computer science. Apart from these two are mostly mathematical ones. These 3, 511, introduction to quantitative finance, capital markets and portfolio theory, and this financial derivatives and stochastic calculus. After that, it's all computational finance. Means actually, it's just the use of computers and mathematics in finance. These kind of things are probably used in machine learning as well, right? Or in other fields as well. So, so you can see this subject like machine learning, quantitative finance, Bayesian. Have you ever studied this kind of subject, like probability and statistics, in your course?
I mean, this semester we have a subject called computer vision and pattern recognition. It's the later part called pattern recognition is mostly machine learning. So there is classification called classifier called naive-Bayes classifier.
Okay.
So I'm since trying to understand AI, I've also realized that maybe I need to like brush up on my mathematics again, because all the principles are calculus and differentiation itself.
Yes. Even I have realized that the thing is that, like, what I've realized is that mathematics and at least programming, if not the whole of computer science, at least programming and mathematics, those are the foundations of anything in STEM, in the field of STEM, whatever you
Yeah.
do. These are the foundations, and it's better to know them as much as possible, because it's like learning a language. If you just know a few phrases like hello, how are you only know those phrases. But if someone talks back to you, you can't reply them if you don't know the fundamentals of the language. So these are the things I would say, like programming or as much as computer science is possible, and mathematics. So the more you know about it, and the more, not just formulas, the more fundamentally you know about it, the more you'll actually understand what's going on. Otherwise, you'll be just like you just know hello and hi. You can't just
I
do it
think
on the way.
because of all the libraries developed for Python and all,
Yes,
it made machine learning very easy. For example, recently we are studying about principal component analysis.
yes,
Have you?
PCA.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
I've heard of it.
in R, if you want to do principal component analysis, there is a function called princecom.
Okay, yes,
You do that on a data, and you have completed principal component analysis.
yes,
That is like the entire like, and even in Python there are so many libraries, NumPy, Pandas, and all those things.
yes, yes.
That simplify the process very much. So most people, at least I used to think that if just knowing application is enough, it should be
Hmm.
enough. And I think before ChatGPT and all came, it would have been it would have been enough for some,
Yes,
for at
yes.
least for at least for a while. After some certain point, you have to know. But now I think even if you're a beginner, you have to know how things are happening,
Yes, yes,
because the mathematical part of principal component analysis is like not very not the most complicated thing, but it is quite complex,
yes.
because there are concepts of eigenvalues, eigenvectors. I forgot about all of those things.
Can you see it? Even here it's written
Yeah, yeah, oh
eigenvalues and
yeah,
eigenvectors. Yes. I'll show you one thing. In the first thing, in this, even in the second course, was the prerequisite. Can you see a course in linear algebra and multivariate calculus?
yeah.
So see, from what I have learned so far, or from what I've uh, realized so far,
Then
there
even
are
that
three.
thing, there is a in the first introduction to probability, there is something called central limit theorem or something in the
Yes, yes,
last
yes,
line.
yes.
Even a few
This
days
one.
ago, we had another concept of central limit theorem in our program.
Okay. So this is what I've realized, that there are 3 topics that they already have to know at least at an undergraduate level those for you to understand any topic in STEM at a deeper level. Not yes, these three topics are first of all this whatever is mentioned here: linear algebra, calculus, and probability. These three for an applied basis. But if you want to go deeper, those are other things. But at least if you want to know things at a deeper level, you're not just using applications or just using functions. So these three topics that you have to know at a deeper level. So that's why right now since I've been doing I've found a course on probability in you on YouTube. That means it is actually a course from MIT. So and even in my first semester I had the probability and statistics course. So I'm trying to learn more about it on a fundamental on a I would say that on a yes on a fundamental level. And yes, and even in linear algebra and multivariate calculus, I found courses in Coursera. So I haven't started yet. I started a course on linear algebra in Udemy. It's a very detailed course, so I'll keep doing it. It's not that I have to finish it in short notice, but I'll just keep doing it. So that over time, I actually learn that means on a fundamental level how those things work. Even in as you can see here in quantitative finance, a lot of things are very much technical in nature. So if I have to in future, if I have to really go deep into this field, not just on the periphery, just doing some fringe level things. So I really have to go deeper in this field. I have to know them in details. As you can see. Okay, I'll say that there are also, as I've said, so I saw this numerical analysis 1, 2, and 3, these are mathematical things. And so these are just computer science things, parallel computing, linear, I think so linear programming is also kind of match and combination of programming. And then we have analysis of algorithms. So basically what I'm trying to say is that it requires a lot of mathematics and computer science. Okay. So yes, that's what I was trying to say.
So you finished the book.
Yes, I finished that book almost a month ago. Actually. Right now, I'm doing another reading another book. I want to talk about it, but
Do you prefer reading book or listening to books?
okay. Earlier, I didn't think so that I would be comfortable listening to audiobooks, but right now, after listening to one book, I find it it's quite it's good. It's not as uncomfortable that I thought it would be. If the EPUB is possible, I download the EPUB also, EPUB as well. And if sometimes I just want to listen to audiobook while I'm walking or doing some other
Audiobooks, they
things,
just
it
read
doesn't
it.
require a lot of mental.
They read line by line, right? It's the same content as the book, or is it summarized version?
Your voice is not coming clearly.
My network is really bad right now.
Okay, what did you say? They read line by line.
Is it like a same content as line by line, or is it summarized version?
No, it's exactly the same, whatever they read. So when sometimes what I do is I start the audiobook and also read the EPUB. So you can see that it's line by line, it's the same thing.
Okay.
So when I have nothing to do, when I just have to read the book, so I just put on the audiobook as well as I read the EPUB. But sometimes when I want to just go for a walk or something like that, so it's much easier to. Actually, I started the audiobook subscription when my exams were just about to start. So what I thought that when I will be taking breaks from the studies, instead of doing something else, I'll just walk for a bit and listen to the audio. So in that way, I'll just even my body will be a bit more active and I will not be engaged in something else. So that's how I started. And audiobooks are really, if you means it's not as hard as that. I initially I thought that I won't be able to focus on it, or maybe I won't be able to because it's a book is such a long thing. I might be able to forget what they told in that book or something like that. But it's not like that. But it just feels like watching a movie or just listening to a movie. Like it's just like that. So before I talk about the second book, which actually I didn't want to talk about the first book, but it just came up. So if you have anything else to to talk about, you can just start before I talk about it.
Me, I actually just wanted to recap some of the AI news. It is not latest. It
Okay.
is about 10 days ago. We can, if you,
Any
it may take about 5-10 minutes. Up to you.
okay, you can okay, you can do it. I'll,
Okay, then let me share this screen.
okay.
You can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So there is another extension I use from ChatGPT
What
summary.
is this one? Okay.
It will summarize the YouTube video.
It summarizes YouTube videos.
Yeah. Sometimes it works.
Okay.
Sometimes it does not work. So it is like hit and miss. You have to try, keep on trying.
Okay.
So that was for now. So this video is also 10 days ago. So in current phase, 10 days is old news. But still,
Okay. Yes, it's fine.
yeah. What else should I discuss? Okay, let's skip this. So this is part. This part is about GDPR compliance. So do you know what GDPR is?
Okay. Yes, that this is something about data protection in Europe. It's
Yeah,
about
it
something
is
like that.
data
I
protection in Europe. There are laws. So I
yes,
think they seem to be very strict with the data protection regime and all.
yes.
So they may like build laws and such that will what is it that they will stop the progress of OpenAI's models, at least in the Europe region. They may even ask to delete some models in training data.
Okay.
That is what happened about 10 days ago. I don't know what the current status is.
Okay.
Another
Even
main point. Yeah. Do you have
okay.
anything more to say about this?
Yes, I just want to add a little bit here. So maybe yesterday or day before yesterday, I watched a video where there was an interview. Even there, this uh, there is a person named Vinod Khosla, and he is a venture capitalist. So uh, he was asked this question about regulating this kind of training models and all. So he said that from his point of view, it is that on the one side the Western world are developing this kind of ChatGPT kind of technology, and on the other hand, the people in the Asian, I mean the Chinese people are also developing this kind of technology. So
Yeah.
from by introducing this kind of laws, if you are stagnating the development of AI, then they will get the Chinese people, they will get a heads up. They will go ahead of the Western world. So they will get a competitive edge. So that is his argument, something like that. So that is what I had to say. Okay, you
So I
can go
mean,
on to the next one.
next part is about unverified training data and dataset. So there is something called the pile, which is like an 8 terabyte of data or something,
Okay,
which is on which most like LLMs are trained on.
okay,
And I think recently it came up, or I don't know when, they are saying that the pile may contain a lot of contents that are not
okay,
that does not come under fair use.
okay,
It may contain pirated ebooks, like it's mentioned here,
okay.
pirated ebooks and email
Entertaining
from them.
news.
And
Ah,
I think I had this concern since the beginning itself. Like all
yes.
the data on the internet
Okay,
is that they are trained on, because if you can ask a lot of things and you may think, how did this LLM get access to this information? This should have been copyrighted or trademarked, because it can give so many copyrighted and trademarked answer also.
yes, yes.
So it like opens the question, like what data was it trained on?
Hmm.
And so going further into it, there is another news about Reddit saying that it does not want LLMs to really use Reddit to train their models. If they
There is
want to use Reddit data, then they have to pay Reddit.
Yeah. So what did you say? Can you repeat again?
So if any language model wants to
Okay.
use Reddit's data to train their model, they have to pay Reddit
Okay. Okay.
because it is Reddit's because all of this conversation and
Data.
data was generated by Reddit,
Ah.
and those
Yes. Yes. Yes.
language models are like freely just crawling through the web page and
Okay.
scraping the data.
Okay. Yes.
So that is one headline.
Ah.
Another one is so basically this entire video is mostly about the data OpenAI is using for training the model.
Oh,
After the
okay. Okay.
initial, I guess a lot of people are starting to think now where exactly is the data coming from?
Yes. That's
How
a
how,
that's a very big question.
how many copyright they have what is it called
Violations.
violated?
That's a important question.
Because now they are, for example, for coding and all,
Hmm.
many of the surely many of the things that you can get answers to on ChatGPT were written by someone on Stack Overflow.
Yes. Yes.
So they are like blatantly taking someone's
Answer.
solution, basically.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And and
And
also the question is that if they are then taking those data and then monetizing their own product, so that
yeah,
means that is again, uh, I don't know if it's illegal or not, but certainly not ethical because you
no,
are freely
I also
taking
don't know
someone
what
else's money.
particular laws come under there. I think anyone. So there's something called fair use or something. I don't know if anything that is on the internet comes under fair use or not.
Yes,
But
there is something called
this,
Creative Commons license, but I don't think it only applies to educational content. I think so, but I'm not sure how well it applies.
yeah.
So, so the bigger
Again,
thing that I'm trying.
yeah,
Yes.
another,
Okay.
this is
Okay.
there, I think using Twitter data is also not legal.
Illegal. Okay.
Yeah.
Data. CN is called. Okay. Yeah, so mostly that it is about on which data these models have been trained on.
Basically, I think then anyone who has used the internet since the beginning of internet, anyone
Yes.
who has any, interacted anything on the internet must be in some way responsible for this current LLMs. Without those people interacting on the
So
internet, they will not be able, there will not be any data.
yes, yes, definitely. So I think what is happening is this new technology has emerged, and both the law and the I would say both the law and the business model has not evolved. Means the business model and the law has to evolve, or means a new model, new kind of law and new kind of business model has to be designed to accommodate this kind of new technologies. That's the thing that I'm trying that I can infer from because
That is true, but I also think that all the big tech companies that are involved,
yes,
most of them, other than Microsoft and OpenAI,
okay,
others are lagging behind, like Google and who else I don't know.
hmm,
But so their main concern now most probably will be how to keep up. So they will not be thinking about infringing copyright and all. If OpenAI is doing it, then we will not stop. Some kind that kind of mentality.
yes,
And I don't know how seriously regulators and all of those things, all of those people will be taking copyright infringement based on LLMs. Maybe they don't even understand properly how it is infringing on any copyright.
yes. Means that is the thing. Means the law needs to evolve. Like when you say talk about the future or futurism and how things will happen in the future, we mainly focus on the technology aspect. But along with that technology, the law and the business also has to adapt to it, evolve accordingly. Like for example, uh, I would say that yes, last week when we were talking about this generative music, AI music,
Yeah.
so a new business model was being proposed by this person named Ben Thompson that I said that you, instead of trying to block those kind of models, being of training from existing musicians data, you can just copyright those things or license their voices. The example that was being given was there was about how music is monetized in YouTube. So even if you upload a video on using someone else's music, so the actual owner of the music will get the revenue. You won't get the revenue. That is how I think so. The monetization works if you use someone else's music in the video, if you use a copyrighted music in the video.
Yeah, but that has to be copyrighted. I don't know if the voice is copyrighted. You have to copyright the voice.
Yes. So what he in that video, what he proposed was that they have to develop some kind of technology that can recognize that this is a certain author, a certain musician's voice. And once you recognize that this is a certain musician's voice, then automatically, if you upload any music, then the revenue will go to the musician. Or if you officially collaborate with that musician, and then you will decide how much the split of the revenue or something like that. But you cannot just upload
that can work for very unique voices. But for some reason, if someone,
I think it won't be.
I'm not sure. I mean, it can work for some cases. Plus, the technology has to be very effective, and it cannot make mistakes in recognizing voices.
Yes, but I don't think it would be that difficult to recognize someone's voice.
Plus, it has to be properly trained on every individual voice that it wants to recognize.
Yes, that has to be done. But
there is 5 more minutes left. So, do you want to start?
Okay, so are you done with this?
Yeah.
News?
This is enough. Yeah.
Okay. So yes, exactly. So what I was going to talk about was the current book that I'm reading right now. So it is. Have you heard of Peter Attia?
No.
He's a doctor, or kind of sort of a person who is into who talks about longevity and health, those kind of things.
Okay.
So I've heard about it a long time ago, almost 4 or 5 years ago. I think so. He came in Joe Rogan's podcast once or twice maybe, and he also has his own podcast. Something I forgot his name, but it's there. So I think this book is very recently released in March 2023 itself. So it's titled Outlive. So it is more about the title of the book is longevity. So it's about increasing health span and lifespan. That is what it's all about. So even in his podcast, a few podcasts that I've listened to, it's all about how to improve your health and all of those things. The kind of things that the kind of things that Joe Rogan does, like putting all of the hormone replacement, all of those things to keep yourself in big physical conditions for as long as possible. So I think so read about 20% of the book so far. So I'll just tell what I've read so far. So the first main thing that he talked about is the difference between medicine 2.0 and medicine 3.0. Okay, so medicine 2.0 is the medicine that we use, which is actually so once something is broken, we use medicines to just patch it up. That's what we do in today's medicine. If someone is sick, we give them medicine. If someone is injured, we do surgery on them, and that's it. Now he talks about medicine 3.0. This is a proactive. It's proactive in nature. You don't wait until you get admitted to a hospital, or you don't wait until you cannot function properly. to start your medication process. That is what he says. That is the difference between medicine 2.0 and 3.0. The thing is that, so we can see that trend is increasing these days about people being more health conscious and all of those things. But earlier, if you have no diseases, then that means you're fine. There's nothing about optimizing your health, optimizing your current level of health. As long as you are not in the hospital, that means you're fine. So
Those medicine, so the medicines in medicine 3.0 are something new or already existing medicines?
I'd say the
like supplements.
In terms of supplements, okay, I'll talk about this is the next thing that I'll talk about. So in medicine 3.0, he said there are 4 main things, or I'll say 5 main things according to him. And I found through some other research also that there are similarities about what these things are. So since it is proactive in nature, these are the 5 things that he mentions. The first is food, exercise, sleep. Third is sleep. Fourth is stress and so anything related to the mental health, everything related to mental health, stress and mental health. Fourth and fifth is supplementation and medication. Those are the 5 things. That is. So I haven't gone into the details of each of these 5 things, and right now I'm just about to start there. So these are the 5 main things that one can. These are the 5 main areas that one can work on to improve their health span and lifespan. That is what he proposes. And even in physical exercises, so in physical exercises, he mentioned about the 4 main areas. These are the physical strength. Okay, what is the right? Just a minute.
Last 1 minute.
Just 1 minute. Okay.
It's less than 1 minute.
Okay. Maybe we'll talk about it some other day. So this is what it is. These are the 5 areas, and in medicine 3.0, we try to work on these 5 areas to optimize our health. So this is as far as I have read. So maybe we can continue later on.
Yeah. So most probably in another 30 seconds.
Okay. So
let me stop recording now.
Okay.